Hello, everyone. My name is Wade the Wallaby, and welcome back to another Werewolf Spaceplane project. Now, I noticed somewhere around somewhere that I found somewhere and somewhere that I found notification that somewhere from Foster Chain videos. Even though that he doesn't, he just had an interview, so I won't pay attention to him. He's okay. However, the Werewolf Spaceplane, I had a problem with this. Somebody taking the same design and basically, because I've been trying to public, but I guess it is proof. So it had to be in from 2017. So you all know that I've been working on this Werewolf Spaceplane project for over basically from 2017 since the dawn, and before that, since my other account was terminated. But yeah, that's before proof, just in case that they had been thinking about this project. Now, I really don't know what the company is that made this or whoever. I just need to wonder if it is exactly almost exactly using a two-stage orbit to orbit. However, this space plane cannot go to the moon. Accordingly, that I figured out quickly, but I just didn't want to look at it too far. You may just look at my werewolf on my spaceplane playlist, and you can find all of the spaceplane things that are related to airplanes and all that stuff from newest to oldest. So you guys can check it out onto my channel by clicking um, my channel name and then just go to playlist. There's a bar, and then you should be there. Now, obviously, YouTube might say that they claimed it first. Now, I mean, the design was supposed to be using. Now, understand that jet engines were supposed. They look like they have small. Now, obviously, I have tested into Kerbal by use a very precise. Now, I modified it so the aeroframe would just, it looks really like what it is supposed to be, flat. And I'm pretty proud that it actually does look realistic. If they thought of it, then if I thought of it, then that's pretty the same. Except it had longer, bigger wheels, and it had it used jet engines. Used the SR-1 Blackbird jet engines instead of small rocket engines or whatever it's called. And this thing is supposed to be a public once in 2030. Now, if this thing could be, maybe if this is real, now this is extremely important. I'm excited that somebody has taken the same design. However, I'm still need to develop it, and it's still use Aerospike instead of any other thing. It does have. It looks like when it stages, it looks like a big aero brake thing. Now, I didn't design an aero brake because what my design is, it's supposed to land on any airport at any time. Now, that might be a problem because if there are other airplanes like 737s on the runway, that thing is important. So, it's okay. My world space plane is designed to go to the moon, hence the name. And it could possibly has a cargo bay, crew transport, etc. Now, obviously, I have to talk loud so there's no background noise because, you know, so making sure that there's no copyright claims just about background because you know how YouTube automatic claims because it just when there's a little bit of music, it just hits it, and then I have to basically figure out that there's no sound at all by me trying to compensate it. So, yes. Now, if you probably would have watched my early channel videos, you probably would have seen the Werewolf Spaceplane in the early development. However, I have drawn a sketch of it, and it was supposed to be different. The sketch is I didn't know how to draw well, but I could possibly prove to you again that I had this. Now, I should have put the date on there to prove that I put it where it drawn, but I knew I had this idea of the Werewolf Spaceplane. It wasn't called that way. It was originally in early 2017. I wanted to figure out to a test. Now, I had this crazy idea just to use no wings at all. And when I did it, is I used just a fuel tank and just like if you just put the freaking Atlas 5 rocket and then tilt it and then put wheels on it, it didn't work. Like that type of rocket size and Kerbal. It just And then I put wings on the other hand. It didn't work. But then I decided to put wings on it. Then I had this later on. I had this really interesting idea to call it the Werewolf Spaceplane because I really wanted to have tourists on the moon at least from 2030. And that's the time because I'm. But if I don't get anywhere further, then I will extend it to 2040. But the deadline is the year 2100. That's when all werewolf space planes, because at that time, warp technology should be invented, and there should be no type of rocket engines, and to just waste time. We would already have, starships already. I'd be basically 99 years old, and that would be very long time. Anybody that has been born from 1999 will be 100, basically. If anybody been to, well, etc. You probably done the math, but I done the math on a calculator by that, so that's I know that in 2100 I've turned 99 because I was born January 15, 2001. So that makes it. I did the math. You don't have to do it. I did the math a while ago. Actually, a long time ago in 2017, I did the math, and I think 2017 or 16, yeah, somewhere around there. Now, if my channel was available, I would definitely have proof about this early development. But the only way I could do it is if I have to tell you what I had originally thought. Now, I know that you're probably screaming out in the comments if you're people that are really sensitive about me showing you. Now, what the sketch looks like, I do have it. I have shown you by previous recordings or streams. I just don't have the technology right now because YouTube just stopped mobile live streaming, and that's why I am minimized to this little camera right here. Yeah, it's 180p. So you can't beat 180p, but above that, just my computer, even though it has a buff, my dad told me that it can't get upgraded too much. It will overwhelm it, he says. But it's suitable for Windows 07. So yeah, Windows 2007. Yes, I use 07 because the computer is comfortable with that. My dad updated Windows 10. And then in 2016, the computer blew up, and that's why I lost. But it wasn't that type of data such as Werewolf Spaceplane in 2016. That was a long time ago. So yeah, I know about 2017 because that's at least where I figured out and designed this, design it. I am the final build probably very soon because the only thing the Werewolf Spaceplane needs is to have the components. I've been working on the components, fuel flow, pipes. That'll be all done by the other people, technicians. I'm only doing the design. In the future, they will do the electronics. I already have the shape of it. Now, if that doesn't work, we can always, remodel it. And maybe this could be, space is hard. And if you have competition, by two things. If you have SpaceX and Blue Origin, they're like companies. They have competition. So you got Elon Musk, which is an amazing guy, which it's a good compliment. Good compliments are always good, except he just loves just music and messes up. Even though he's the most billionaire, he still kind of gets some copyright things caught on YouTube. If you've noticed that, it's just kind of weird how especially NASA, like NASA, come on, it's owned by the government. The government. This is all. That's how the rights came from except that NASA. If the United States Air Force, yes, that's a different story. But if you look at it, the America does have a little bit of less things. I know I'm changing the subject, but I'm just trying to narrow things down. But it is really cool, and you guys loved it before. You had really good confidence. Confident. Well, you get the idea. Confident. I can't say it well. Confident. There we go. Confident. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I have a tongue twister right now. And yeah, it's it's not bad, I'll take it back. It ain't nothing bad. I mean, I'm just trying to, wondering. I mean, I can't believe somebody had thought about this and actually put it into famous internet, which means what I call is when you have an idea like me, it's called less famous. And what happens is if you don't have enough people, you don't get that much famous. You don't get that where you could put it to the public and everybody can see it. Unlike this, there's not a lot of people out there such as subscribers. Only a few know me at school or work or etc. And possibly if I told them about my channel, they'll definitely do it because, I mean, I'm extremely intelligent. Obviously, some people out there that just think that they just came on and they think everything is crazy. And I mean, the thing about the World Space Plane is I tested it, and even though that the name was kind of bit off, I thought about this for a while, and it really does kind of fit in because imagine of a big moon colony, all right, and you need to have a reusable space plane. However, this space plane that is actually the same thing could be useful, such as launching, the same thing. Only it's called the drone. My design of the drone that pushes it. I mean, that's like pushes. Instead of pull, it's pushing. And I had this idea of pushing instead of pulling. Instead of just carrying a space plane and then launching it like Virgin Galactic, and then and it just detaches and then rocket, like that, or the space shuttle like riding on a booster and then staging and then, or just an SSTO like Skylon is in development. Venger Star, which I do have a model of it right here. Venger Star. I do have a model of this Venger Star. Yeah, Venger Star. When I got this, I have no idea what this was. I thought this was a real thing. Then I noticed that it was supposed to be launched like this, not this. Yeah, it launches like this and it goes up and then, and then back here is like a docking port. It's hiding. It's like from 2011. I think it's said from here. I thought it said 2011 or somewhere around there. Yeah. 03? I'm just guessing it's from 2003, but I thought it was 2011. Well, whatever. So yeah, it's and I believe these are hinges, and what it does is it glides down, and that, and it does fit in really well. Yeah, but of course it's missing a wing. I have no idea where the other wing is. It's supposed to have two wings, and I mean, using this type when it's all empty, they did actually build this, but it wasn't like this. It was actually parts, like the inside, and when they realized that there's a lot of delays, they had to give up on it, and then they were so close. All they had to do was build the hull, which is this, and they would have had Venger Star right and running, and it would be a beast. I mean, those big engines, which are the aerospec engines, I have no idea why they were there. I thought the engines were because of the holes right here. I thought it blasted out this way and it just lifted up like this. I have no idea. But then I realized this was supposed to be vertical, thanks to Rastro over the filmmaker, the best possible helpful for making me interested in how spacecraft work. Please, subscribe because he is really really good because he explained a lot in Avenger Star. I mean, that really that's how it's launched. What? And so yeah, it launches like that. But if you can see back here, I just don't have that. I have a variety of spacecraft there on display. Even I call this one the American Soyuz because I mean, I call American Soyuz because if you look at very closely, you can see American flag, which I'm guessing I call American Soyuz because yeah, it does a docking port. It's the same docking plug, the same thing. It's a Soyuz. The engines are a bit weird. It looks like the from Rampage, that Chinese module. I know if you never watched, if you possibly would have looked very closely as a knows about spacecraft like me, in that movie Rampage, you definitely know that there's some Chinese stuff in there, even though how I knew with the Senzu, it's not like gravity, we got gravity, but like it seems like what they thought. Maybe they were using something, maybe even the same people from, I have no idea. Yeah, I guess if you're trying to make big kaiju monsters, you just have to figure out a way to make the lore and just slap things there. And yeah, I call it the imposter ISS, interspace station, because it's just kind of the modules in the inside. It looks really well done. I mean, they must use the same props as the intro space station, so I just call it that way. And then I found I think it was a Koopa module. I saw Progress or Soyuz. It looks like it must have been like a Progress Soyuz hybrid. Oh, I mean, that's kind of weird because I don't think you could do that. There has to be one. There can only be one. So yeah. I mean, yeah, you got the big space shuttle right here. Oh yeah, I always put it there. It's amazing. I clicked this phone, and I do have this transformer thing, but I didn't know. I think this was supposed to be ICBM, but when I looked at it very closely, it looks like a proton rocket from Russians. Because but the engine's supposed to be like on here, and I believe what's going on is this stages, and and then you get the payload, but it does this. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, it goes with something and big and yeah, but this is proton rocket. It's not ICBM. Yeah, it's I know rockets really well. If you don't think that's right, then look at proton rocket, and surely you get your gas. There's Sable and Blackbird right here. It's camouflage. Tell you. Okay, so yeah, we get the idea. We get the idea. Now, of course, I'm using the same rope, and you're wondering where I was. I was so sleepy, but this time I'm gonna be. You never know. We will never know. But I think we get a little bit of goodness here because someday I think this might work. Unless if they figure out to go to the moon, which will be very soon, so I gotta make sure that doesn't happen before they plan on it. Because I mean, there can only be one werewolf space plane. Because if there's two different types, and if that one's better, then we have that's competition. You can't stop that. So yeah, I mean, you can make your own spacecraft, and basically it's the same, even though it was same. So I can't stop that. Unless if it could be like a hybrid, maybe we can use them to dock to each other, refuel just like Elon Musk, and then and then you can. But I don't think that size and how much detail it is. I mean, pushing it up. I mean, yeah, it's really to look. I'll possibly put it into the description where it found. Actually, I need to figure out who designed it because I really want to see them and talk to them. Because if my ideas are to them, maybe we can negotiate of something, and maybe we can make my dream come true quicker than what I predicted. Possibly if I can get up there. But if I look like this and try to, that and I'm a trendy, they won't accept me. So I have to be important just for people to know me. And the only way to do that is I don't know. It just happens. Usually you become famous out of nowhere, but I mean it's gonna be really tough if I don't get this in place. And I mean it scares me. It scares me very much. And best of luck.